All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and get going. You can catch this on YouTube. The great work. What's good, Dap? The great work. I was reading in one of my books about Franklin Delano Roosevelt's childhood and teenage, his younger years, childhood up to being a young adult, and his mother was a trust fund baby, I guess you could say, from the Delano family. His father was a very successful businessman. I think he was a banker or something. Either way, he came from a lot of money. And uh, for his 16th birthday, FDR, you know what he got? He got a sailboat for his 16th birthday. A sailboat. And he goes putting it out in the water around, I think like upstate New York, in that area. He just, out exploring. And he went on this mission to try to find the Oak Island treasure, which was his introduction to occultism, because he ended up going from that to searching for the Holy Grail, which is what he and Churchill and Hitler and Henry A. Wallace were in competition for, who could gain the powers of melanin. But that aside, it reminded me of another story. George Washington, the supposed first president, had a stepson named John Custis. Now, the stepson was not a bright kid. He was kind of slow. But back then, your elite had private instructors for their children. They didn't utilize the dame schools and the community schools and all that. That was for your commoners who were trying to rise up to the level of being yeomen, because you had two classes. You had your yeomen, Yeomen, which were considered to be your elite, and you had basically everything else was savage. So the elite educated their children with private instructors. Now, one thing John Custis's instructor told George Washington was that don't worry about this kid about what kind of marks he gets with his basic arithmetic and reading and all that other. He said that's for common people. He said the main thing this kid needs to do is go out and travel the world and learn how men of the world conduct their affairs. And I thought about that, and then I thought about FDR. He's given this boat at 16, and I thought about the great work. And what's the real purpose behind a capitalistic system? It is not about, we think it's all about greed, capitalism. Oh, these greedy capitalists, they just want money. And if this signal drops out, y'all know what time it is. I'm at that spot, the dead zone, where his phone goes Bardo realm. But if you get a book called Protestant Ethic by Max Weber, he talks about this. We think that capitalism, peace almighty, we think that capitalism is about greed and about getting all the money you can get. It's not. The real driving force behind capitalism is always an end goal, a purpose, and that purpose is, like we say, the Holy Grail and so forth. Now, what it does though for people who are not in the elite classes, and this goes across the board, it gives you, like when you go, this is like the start of the thoroughbred season here at we got a little horse racing track in Grand Prairie called Lone Star Park. And you've seen how they start off with the, well, I'm thinking about the dogs. Let's talk about the dogs. When they got a dog race like the Greyhounds, they start out with a rabbit. And that rabbit takes off, and all those dogs are starting out trying to catch that rabbit. Well, for the serfs in a capitalistic system, and if you don't come from money, you're a serf. Okay? This damn fool. The serfs are given this rabbit that's put out in front of them and dangled and say, oh, look what you can get. Look what you can get. If you just, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. But the key is to keep you busy. That's the key. Capitalistic system is really communism. And I'm gonna tell you how you know for sure, because I don't have the thing written down, but I wrote a note down somewhere. I saw this Saturday about this. One of the guys who founded Facebook with Mark Zuckerberg is pushing this basic wage thing, and they've taken the mayor of, I think this might be Sacramento, is a black guy, and they're making him the poster child for give people a basic wage. They're saying no matter what, you're going to get this amount of money, and just imagine if you had an extra $500 and how it could help people. That's how they dressed it up to make it sound nice. That's communism. Their land capitalism was only set up to lead to communism. There's never been a fight between capitalism and communism. Same system. One just gives you the illusion that, everything's open. This whole open market thing. Market's never been open. So what's the real purpose? See, it's easier for us to find the real purpose when we talk from a strictly communist system. Oh, they want to control everything. Control. What do you think a capitalist system is? It's still about control, but it's not control in the mundane sense. It's controlling your energy. That is what has to be controlled, because just like you have an energy system or core in you, free rage so we can produce the most for them. Exactly. Just like you have an energy system in you, they call it Kundalini. The earth has subterranean energy that they have found. I'm digging into something that I found. I'll explain it on another occasion. But this stuff is real. So we keep it dormant by keeping you busy. See, we give you work so that you cannot do the great work. Not that, no, let me rephrase that. They look to give us work to hinder us from doing the great work. Because bottom line is, regardless of whatever your financial situation is and what you got going on, if you have a burning desire to want to expand your consciousness, you got it, baby. You got it now. It's available to you. So, yes, they are looking to control that, but they can't. But you got to be in your proper mindset to fight back accordingly. So that means this whole concept of working and I gotta get push harder and go. You know, I'm considered now what my title is. I'm a freelance writer. Let me tell you. Let me tell you something real quick. And matter of fact, I got to get back in here and write my last post for the day. Let me tell you how this came about. I'm very fortunate to get this job. Okay. Well, one thing I noticed, this job is like, it has the whole Silicon Valley feel to it. When you go into the place, it's an open concept. You got all these different departments all out in one area, and they got bean bags, they got a cafe in the back, you can go and make you coffee, they got snacks, they got little stability exercise ball in there. If you know, my desk, I could stand up and I could raise it up and stand and tight. All the little Silicon Valley shit. It looks it's so trendy. Why? I don't know. Well, I do know why, but that environment bothered me. Now, part of it is my age. Maybe if I was 25, 26, don't know shit. But at 41, all these motherfuckers behind me talking about what they ate, and the waiter came out and brought this, and then but I was able to pick up stuff because they had a whole SEO department, and they're talking about strategies. That's a whole complicated science. But I couldn't deal with all the back and forth and the way people walk. They walk with an air of, I'm trying to get somewhere. I want to grow. I want to be a leader. You can see it and sense it in the way they carry themselves. That made me sick. It made me sick because at this point in my life, I have no aspiration to give the lion's share of my energy to somebody else. Unless it's my, where I determine I want to give that shit to something that I'm passionate about. And what I see like the certain people, like one of the head people in the company. I see they in the office all day strategizing. These people are coming in, and I'll see him go across the street and get a slice of pizza, come back, he's back at it. I'm like, that's not considered making it to me. Now we could say he's very brilliant at what he does. They got a great model. They pay me, so that's great. But see, this is my mindset. I'm not trying to grow with that. It's seed money to support me and my family, and also to grow what I'm really passionate about. See, this shit right here, I'm not getting paid for this. I got actually work I need to go in here and do what I'm going to get paid for. I'm sitting here in my driveway on here talking. See, this is what I'm passionate about. You know what I really would see myself doing? In a perfect world, that would be a university where I would be a professor and I could teach the way I want, and I wouldn't have no PowerPoints. It'd all be whiteboard, chalkboard. My favorite professors in college, they wrote shit down, old school. And that's what I would do. I would love. So this is my version of doing that. Some people, it's just in your blood to do certain. Well, everybody's got something that's just in your blood to do that. Well, this is my thing, or one of them. What I do to get paid, as far as my job, that's just a means to an end. I have to keep that categorized in my mind. I know I could aspire, and I could rise up and become a leader in the company and this and that. I don't want that. I don't want it. Every chance I can get, I'm trying to dig into this shit. This is what my passion. I want to know what has been withheld from me. I want to know what secrets have been tucked away. That's what I want. I want the prize. I don't want the crumbs. I don't want the trinkets. I want the prize. But I understand too, though, that in order for me to get to the prize, I've got to take care of my mundane things around me. That's something I've had to grow into learning, in my 40s. You can't be dismissive of the game that you're in. You're in a game, yes, you know that, but that doesn't mean that you can cower out and just, oh, fuck it, fuck life. No, I'm gonna play this shit. I'm gonna play it. So when I became a freelancer, I had a dream one night, and the word Lance came up in my dream. So I went and looked it up, and I was walking into my house one night. My uncle John died 6 years ago, and all the people who passed, I still got their numbers in my phone. So I dialed him by mistake. Now, how his number come up, I don't know, because it's not even a name that starts with an A. It's not like it was the first name in my phone book. In my phone, this is a J or a U, because I got him in there as uncle. So I end up dialing him, and I looked up, and it was 7 p.m. exactly when I called. Some kind of way it came up to, it was 7 p.m. The call was 7 seconds. And there was another 7 somewhere. Either way, it came out to 777. So there's a book. I got this book by Aleister Crowley called 777 and Other Kabbalistic Terms. So I text Brother Wali, and I ask him. I know he's got Godwin's Kabbalistic dictionary or encyclopedia. I have him look up 777 in there. I look up 777 in my book, and he comes back and tells me Flaming Sword is one of them. In my book, Flaming Sword. And I'm thinking, Sir Lancelot. A lot of lance. Well, what's lance? Lance is light. Also sword. So I attribute that to a communication I got with my uncle, because I work with especially my uncle and my father. I work with them as far as communication in their higher form. I had set my mind up that I was going to become a freelancer. Let me tell you another thing you do on your jobs. You need to be quiet, and you need to listen. And a lot of times what I would do, I would be writing, have my headphones in, and I would turn the music off if somebody walk up to somebody else and be talking, and I'd listen. So I start picking up stuff about somebody other. I found out other people were working as freelancers. I found out how they were getting paid. So then I was doing my little undercover work, and now I know that this is, okay, I know for sure this is an option. So the whole time my mind is thinking freelance, and I had to keep working my way in and negotiating with them, because they didn't want to do it. And I got my confirmation that the shit was going to happen when that phone call came through, and it was my uncle, and 777 shows up. 7 is the sword. Sword is the lance. So if I'm a freelance, then that means the light or the sword is free now. I'm free. I'm free to still fulfill my responsibilities and also pursue my passions. So there are gifts available for us for being goddamn passionate and being sincere. Now, some folk might not look at that as nothing. Oh, that ain't nothing, isn't it? But it's a lot to me, because you don't know where I've come from. You know, those stories they're real stories, like stories of struggle and this and that, and transformational things, and being initiated and growing. I have been going through my own initiation. And now, so the freelancing at the job is more than just a job. It's about now the light is being freed up. So that means it's time to let my light shine. So why am I telling you this? One, I want you to always look for magic in everything, spirituality in everything. Don't discredit. Erica says, now I question myself to what's my true passion. A real turning point for me, like when I would drive to work, Erica, I would listen to Neville Goddard, and one particular thing he was talking about, ask yourself, what do you really want? It was to the effect of, you think you know what you want, but sit down and really think about, what do I really want? And maybe I would suggest take that route to discovering your passion. So in other words, basically they're the same thing, but sometimes you just need a different approach. Maybe don't think so much about, what am I supposed to be doing? What's my passion? Just think about, what do I want? What do I ultimately want in life? See, that's an easy thing for me to answer. And when I listened to that lecture, first word came up in my mind was freedom. And I looked back throughout my life, and all I've ever wanted was freedom. More than anything, more than money, more than trinkets, acquiring things. From the day I was born, I've always wanted freedom. Do you know, my mama tells me when I was like a toddler, like 18 months, she would put me in the crib and they'd go downstairs and like have some company, and they would hear me, bam, hit the floor, because I would crawl out of the crib. Now, I'm going to tell you, then this was over and over again. Now, I do remember being an older toddler, an older lady named Miss Ricks. Miss Ricks and Sam, that was her husband. They used to babysit me. And I remember, and I've always had a fly mouth. One day, Miss Ricks had got her check and she was going downtown to pay her bills. I wanted to go so bad. I said, Miss Ricks, please, can I go with you? No, Jamal, you're going to stay here with Sam. And they had a little dog named Blackie. So I was like, Miss Ricks, please. She said, no. I said, Miss Ricks, I remember it like it was yesterday. Mind you, I'm like 2-3 years old. I said, Miss Ricks, if you don't take me with you, I'm going to tear this house up. And she said, boy, you tear this house up, I'm going to tear you up when I get. That's back when the people who kept you could spank your ass, because you know them. They knew your mama. They raised your mama. Miss Ricks knew my grandmama. So she had rights to whoop my motherfucking ass if I tore the house up. So of course I didn't do shit. But that's just a funny story. But when I would be at Miss Rick's house, they would put me in a playpen. I can remember like it was yesterday how I would lift myself up onto the edge of the playpen onto get my waist on, just enough to get my stomach and my waist onto the edge, and I flip my leg over and I get out, and I would go and tear up, not tear the house up, but I was curious. I would fuck with the flower pot, and might get some dirt on the radiator, or go upstairs and Tino would have these model cars. I went up there and broke Tino's car one time and got my ass in trouble. One time in the nursery, Brown Temple Daycare. This was probably 1981. Because remember I told y'all, I remember when Ronald Reagan got shot. I remember this was the same year. Every day at the end of the day, my mama or daddy would come and pick me up from daycare. And up at the top of the hill, they had these vans that would take children, your riders. They would take children home, they would drop them off at their house. I was so, enthralled with them vans. I was like, I want to see what's on that van. I want to take a ride on the van. Do you know my black ass one day went up there and snuck onto the damn van, and my mom and them came over there to look for me and didn't know where the hell I was at. And they came and dropped my ass off at the damn house. Got my ass beat for that. But I go back and I think about all these things. And what is it I've been pursuing all this time? Freedom. Freedom. Freelance. That's all I ever wanted. So, but you got to have time to be quiet. My neighbor looking at me like I'm crazy. Both of them looking at me like I'm crazy. This motherfucker sitting in his car talking to himself. You got to have time to be able to steal away to even have that thought process to really figure out, who are you? What do you, and so much of your life, aspects of who you really are, you're told that's bad. Well, if you're not harming anybody, I'm not going to sanction you just going fucking up people. But who you are is who you are. So what I was able to, goddamn, this day every motherfucker want to come out here. So when I listened to that Neville Goddard lecture, I knew that day I said, that is it. That is it. That's what I want the most. Freedom. Freedom. Because if I'm free, I can do all the other things. And I think that's what I loved so much when I had my training business. That's why I fell in love with it. I was free. Middle of the day, I would be in Barnes and Nobles. Back then, I was looking up stuff on diets and nutrition and weightlifting and, the molecular structure of the body and biology and all this Krebs cycle and all this shit. But I was free to go and explore whenever I wanted to. So in finding your purpose, find out what do you desire the most? What do you desire the most? Because that's something that was programmed into your DNA in this incarnation for you to explore. I don't even know. Oh, we started out talking about the great work. Yes. And there, my friends, that's the great work. Yeah, that worked out. That's the great work. The great work is you finding you. So many people I talk to and they say, I just don't know what my passion is. And you really do. You really do know. You do know. You just need to take the time to let it come to the surface and and speak to you. That's all it is. That's all it is. Right on, Erica. You're very welcome. Peace to everybody. I don't know who's Dark Truth. What's happening? Marcus in the house. Cosmic Ma'at in the house. Dap. Everybody. So appreciate y'all tuning in to the afternoon, not the drive today, just the afternoon sit. So until we meet again, stay down until you get up, and when you get up, stay down. Hey, Dap, you got any more beats other than what you got on SoundCloud? Got us an engineer on here. I don't know if he's still on here, but oh, okay. Well, y'all got my email. We'll chit chat. We'll chit chat. I want to hear the shit that ain't nobody done heard yet. But I know you had to have something in the held back in the freezer. But y'all, we'll get back up. Catch you on the top side. Brother Jamal, mastersofthecosmos.com. Peace.